Hello and welcome to today's video, and I wanted to introduce you to this Pioneer CT1060W double cassette deck. Now, this used to belong to a friend of mine who unfortunately passed away from cancer back in 2014, and I've had this for a number of years because when he was still alive I actually bought the component system that this was actually a part of. So as well as obviously this arrangement, there was also a amplifier, graphic equalizer, there was a 6-disc changer, which was something that came later in his collection of audio, and these absolutely massive tower block size speakers. The speakers have long gone. The amplifier and amplifier and graphic equalizer are still around. They are with Jan at the moment, I think, if I remember rightly. And the cassette deck is obviously here with me, as is the 6-disc changer. And I think I've still got the record deck, which is in storage, but it's one of those sort of generic system record decks, so I'm not sure of the exact quality, but being Pioneer, it's probably not going to be horrifically bad, because I don't think, certainly in this era, I don't think Pioneer ever really made anything that wasn't pretty good. Now, the amplifier module itself actually had these, so you could actually plug everything into the amplifier to cut down on the amount of cabling that you were using up. So I'm actually going to take this off because we don't actually need these, but what we do need is a proper plug. Now, I have never actually turned this on. I've never powered it up, so I do not know if it is going to run or if it is going to fail in a cloud of smoke. But we will soon find out once I have put a plug onto here. Fuse wise, let's have a look at the back of it to see what kind of fuse we need. So this is 26 watts, doesn't tell us the ampage, but I am going to make a reasonably educated guess that 3 amps is probably going to be enough. If it blows the fuse, then it'll probably need 5 amps, but I don't think it's going to need any more than either 3 or 5 amps, to be honest with you. Right, let's get, there we are, that's ready to go. So we'll put a plug onto that. Right, let me get a plug onto this, and we will return shortly for the first power on, see if it actually turns on. Annoyingly, at this point, it seems that I've actually lost the footage of me initially testing the unit. What actually happened was the first deck, so deck number 1, works absolutely fine. Deck number 2, all functions work except record and play back. So if you try playing a cassette, it will immediately stop. So it will try to engage the mechanism, but it will immediately stop. So what I do is I strip down the unit, and we will in the next clip discover what the problem actually is. I have found the problem. So here there's a little metal bar, a little metal arrangement here that attaches to a little plastic lock-in thing behind. So if that's not in place, that will come around and just do that. Now if I do this, push it up, that locks into place and everything is as it should be. However, with that not in place like that, that happens. So what has happened at some point in the past is the little metal tag that sits on there has, through fatigue, popped off. That has sprung back to there, and that has effectively stopped this deck from being able to, well, to do anything really. It can fast forward and rewind, but it's never going to be able to play back, ever, because there is nothing to lock this into place. And it's this spring holding on to that locks it into place. So, we know what the problem is, and the question is, how do we fix it? The answer is, I don't know. Very small drill bit, tiny screw, but I don't think I've got anything that small. Glue, perhaps, to try and hold it in place, but trying to hold that under tension with a load of glue is not going to work, because as soon as that gets the opportunity to release itself, that's gone. But that is the problem. Let's actually have a look at this in a bit more detail. So if we get these micro switches out of the way. And let's remove this plate. We'll just put it into a stop state so there's nothing under any tension. There we go. And there we are. Now, there will be springs and things, so watch where those springs are. There we go. Hang on a moment. I wonder if... So it's plastic. I thought this was metal, it's actually plastic. So we have here an exploded diagram of the deck itself. And highlighted here are the part numbers of the items that need replacing. Right, so we are hooked up to a suitable amp. Going to try out some of this one. Don't know why I've got that, but I do. And the first track is DIVORCE. Yeah, that seems to work. That seems to be working well enough, actually. So this is, I don't know if you would call this a success or not. So first off, we've successfully determined what the problem is with the deck, and it's unfortunately one of those faults that there's not really much I can do about it, because it's something that's physically broken inside the deck itself. The only real way out of this is to find a scrap deck with the same mechanism and replace the individual bit of plastic that has come awry. But aside from that, there isn't really sort of a huge amount more that I can do. I've tried repairing it, but it's just too damn fiddly to repair, unfortunately, and the glue will not hold the screw in place when that spring is under quite a bit of tension. So for the minute, that is pretty much it with this deck. I'm going to put the cover back on. I'm going to just give it a bit of a cosmetic clean up, and it can be used as just a single cassette deck, which isn't the end of the world. It plays, it does everything it should. Anyway, hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you've managed to get something out of this. I certainly have. It's been a good experience stripping this down and working out where the problem is. But for the moment, that is it for today. I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again on the next one.